Well, hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing good. How was your week? How's everything going? I know things are busy for you as there's a transition going on, and just thinking about you and wondering if you're doing okay.
I'm still in a sea of boxes. I try to organize my kitchen and nothing fits. So I just give up. I just throw it and then I walk away and I leave. So I'm not really getting anywhere.
And you come back expected to be done.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because my new neighbor, she texted me last night and she's like, I have this lady that can help you. And I was thinking, should I? And then I was like, but then I won't know where anything is. And then I need to do it myself, but I just keep getting really frustrated. And then I keep ordering things on Amazon and then I keep forgetting and sending it to my old address. So yeah. So anyways, enough of that boring stuff.
You're going to get it. You're going to figure it out. Everyone knows moving's terrible.
I know, but I'm super OCD too. So it's like, when you have a cluttered space, you have a cluttered mind. So I am particularly manic. I am particularly insane right now. So I just keep leaving and it's just not the answer, but I just keep doing it.
You know what? I am curious to know this question though. Tell me how long it takes before your new place feels like home. They would say it takes 6 months to a year before, okay, now this feels like home.
I'm really good at anything feeling like home because I've traveled so much and had to make other places my home. So I'm really good at that part. And when it has a better energy than my last place and all my stuff is here. So I feel like home. And as long as I'm with my family, it's home,
Yes, absolutely. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So, it feels good. It feels better actually. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get it in order. So we have a great guest that I invited on today, Shar Jackson, who is not only beautiful on the outside, she's beautiful on the inside. She has also grown up on TV and in front of the camera and has such a large body of work. And she's just amazing. So let's bring that beautiful face on.
There she is.
Hi. Hey, little Nikki.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Shar and I have this deep bond because we did this ridiculous show.
My God.
What was it called?
Celebrity Fit Club.
Okay, yeah. And I mean, we signed up to generally be tortured. It literally was like a torture camp.
Yeah.
We were tortured. Like a weight loss thing. And it wasn't. It was just how far can we break until you break?
What year was this? When did this happen?
It was 13 years ago. I was just looking
at it. Yeah, I think it was like 09 or something like that.
Yeah, 2000.
Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. It was so we bonded.
Yes, we did.
Good.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So
she definitely became one of my besties after that. Even if I'm not on your bestie list, you're on my bestie list.
No, you're on my bestie
list. Okay.
So when you sign up for something, just curious, when you two sign up for something like that, who approaches you and what makes you decide, okay, I can handle this, not handle this?
Well, for me, it's the industry used to be a lot more brutal than it is now. So your team will be so you're fat. And so let's do something about it. That's kind of how it went down for me, And the saddest thing was Nicole and I were probably 10 pounds over normal Hollywood weight. And so, for that, it was well, you guys need to work out 10 hours a day and do this 9-week boot camp and almost die. So
sleep deprivation. It was making us hike up mountains carrying huge boxes while they were spraying us with a fire hose.
It was insane. For me, the most the craziest part about it for me was the emotional stuff, because I was going through a really crazy time in my life where, I'd broken up with my ex and there was some crazy stuff in the media, blah, 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 blah. And then I was okay, I'm going to do this show, get my body back, get me back, start dating again. And it's going to be awesome. This is about me. And then I get there and my ex is there. I was really? This is what we're going to do?
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
That was rough. I know. I felt for you. I was this is a mess. This is
really,
it's just
it'll be my time.
Yeah, they set us up for failure completely.
Oh my goodness.
Shar, it's Kevin Federline, right? And Shar had this horrible split. And then they're putting them together in this camp. And then meanwhile, they had their winners picked out because they're putting them up in like this apartment building where it's like next to Whole Foods and there's a gym, and like all they get to do when they're not on set is work out, and like everybody else goes back to normal life, right?
Yeah.
They're like set up in this like spa to work out. It just, yeah. And that was
crazy. And I want to say we were the last season because like, how do you get any crazier than what you did to us?
Yes.
Where was the location? Where did they have you?
Oh God, we were up at what is that? Passaic? Is that like up that way, right?
Yeah, like
and
out
like this
in the valley, like just out in the valley. We were literally in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere.
There were wild horses up there. It was like,
wow.
You couldn't see anything. There was just mountains, and they'd be like, climb to the top of that one. And it was way out in the valley. Out in the middle of nowhere.
They secretly wanted us to die. I'm convinced.
I know. That would have been good. That would have been good.
The ratings, I mean, come on. Insane.
Now, I'm always Shar. I was never part of the business you two were in, so I always have a million questions from a fan standpoint. But when it was over, do you go to your management team and say, "What the hell? Don't ever do that to me again"? That was a horrible experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it while I was there. I definitely called them and told them, I was like, I hate you all, and I want you to slowly die.
Yeah. I got up and left. In the middle.
Yeah, you did.
You did? You went AWOL?
Oh, I did. We had worked all day, and it was like late at night. We already know who won. And it was just like going on and on and on. And they had just been so mean to all of us. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't win.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah. I got up and left. Called my manager. I was like, pick me up. Yeah.
I was like, Nicole's my idol. This is so amazing.
That is so funny. That is so funny.
I never had to like tell a production. Like I never was able to tell a production to like kiss my ass and go to hell. And Nicole did it. It was beautiful. Oh God. It's legendary, Nicole.
Good for you, Nicole. Everybody dreams of doing stuff like that. That's awesome.
I hit my wall. I hit my breaking point. I needed to go. But we were talking about, what else, Shar? All the kids are watching Good Burger, I know that your kids are fans too, right, Dave?
Yeah.
Huge fans. I mean, to the point my kids had it memorized. I mean, they had the whole thing memorized. They watched it over and over and over again. And it's so funny is you were on our television so much that if my kids had a chance to be live with us right now, they'd have 800 questions for you. But it was part of their childhood. It was such a big deal in our house. It ran all the time.
It's crazy. We're working on a sequel right now. Okay, let me not say
no way.
I don't know if I'm working on the sequel yet, but the sequel is being filmed right now. And like kids are like blowing up my DMs and stuff right now. Like, oh my God, are you going to be in this? This is going to be amazing. We can't wait to see Monique. And I'm just like, well, I can't wait to see Monique either.
I love this for you. And you look exactly the same, bitch. Like,
yeah. It's so creepy. I think I'm a vampire. Like, I think I'm just going to go ahead and accept that I'm a vampire that can gain a little weight. That's it.
Are you so can I ask you is do you know if Kenan Thompson's the one who's producing it? Was it his idea?
I'm sure Kenan and Kel are both producing it. There's like I said, they just started shooting this month. It's going to be on Paramount Plus, and like the guys just kind of did like their first or second days on set yesterday. They shared some clips on Instagram, so it's exciting.
Oh, everybody, go right to them. Go on their
It's like, where's Monique?
Yeah. Tell me I see Shar. Tell them Monique can come back. It won't be the same.
No, it won't be the same. Just saying.
It won't without a doubt. All right, so I have a question for both of you. Since both of you were in the business at an early age, was there ever a time where you were working and you said that person who I'm working with right now is going to become a big star? Like you could figure it out ahead of time. Like this isn't their end point. This is just the stepping off point. And for example, a guy like Kenan Thompson, I'm a big Saturday Night Live fan, and Kenan Thompson's been there forever and he never disappoints. And Lorne Michaels says he's the one guy in the cast that makes him laugh every single week. Did you realize at the time he was going to be the star that he became?
You know what? I always knew Keenan was going to do amazing things, but I thought Kel was going to be even bigger than
Me too.
Keenan, because I was
Me
like,
too.
Kel is so. Hold on one second. My dog Spartacus is making noise. I have a water gun. Hey,
No.
stop. Knock it off. So
Does the water gun work?
It
water
does.
gun work?
Look, you see, he shut up. Spartacus.
All right. Well, I'm
He's
sure
a
Peter will
multi-poo.
be
It's the
getting in touch
funniest
with
thing
you.
ever. You know what I mean? Like, you pull out the big, oh, I got you. You know, it's tragic. Anyway, but no, I think I always felt like I had a gift, because I was like, I can always tell who's going to be gigantic. You know what I mean? Like I did with Justin Timberlake. I did with Channing Tatum. I was like, I know the stars. Maybe I should have been an agent instead of an actress, but you know, whatever. I always felt like I knew. Nicole, I feel like you knew too.
I think I didn't really put a lot of thought into it.
Really?
Nicole said, I didn't give a shit. How about that?
And
let's just do our jobs and go home.
I feel like, it's so random. Like some people you expect to be, super successful and widely embraced, that are not. And then other people you're like, whoa, didn't see that one coming. So
yeah.
I'm a good, such a good judge of that. You know who I did know was going to be famous is Aaron Paul.
Really?
And we didn't work together. We sort of dated, and we used to be really good friends, and like practice our auditions together. And so I did a lot of like helping him, like read, his sides with him for his auditions. And I was like, this kid is gold.
He's got it.
Yeah,
this kid's got it. Yeah,
got it. So that one I knew.
Wow, that's a big. All of a sudden, she just drops Aaron Paul like nothing.
Right? She's like, no, I don't know, but Aaron Paul.
Yeah. Shar, she's the most interesting person I've ever met. Like, just a casual conversation. Drops Mark Wahlberg a couple weeks ago. I'm like, wait a second.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh my
Nicole's been in the game a long time, man.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not too many people she hasn't touched at one point or another. And I don't mean that like,
No. Been around that block a few times. Nah.
That is funny. That is funny. So is there anything, Shar, that you've done where people come up to you, or Nicole, same situation, where they say, hey, I remember you in this, and you're kind of embarrassed by it? Like, where you go, oh no, what do you mean that's what you remember me?
Oh, for me, for sure. I've done a lot of favor films and stuff for my friends.
Yes.
So yeah, I won't even say what they are, but yes, definitely. I've done a lot of favor films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recognize more from Moesha or Good Burger?
It's a tie.
It is, huh?
Same audience,
right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. I mean, but it's like, I think Good Burger is Moesha just became kind of universal over the last maybe 10 years, but Good Burger has always been like, I mean, I'll have kids that don't even speak the same language as me, but the only word I understand in that, or the only two words, is Good Burger. And I'm like, okay.
I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. Shameless,
right? You did an episode of Shameless. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, and I was so happy to do that, because that show is so badass. Don't you love when you're like a fan of a show and then you finally get to jump on it? Like, I wanted that to happen with The Walking Dead, but it didn't. They didn't want to kill me. It's fine.
I would be so nervous to go on Shameless. Like, huge fan of that show, and they're just all so talented. It's such a great show. It's like those are big shoes to fill. So I would be.
It's fun, and it feels good. Like, I just get really excited when I'm around super talented people, because I just feel like it helps me grow and makes me work harder to have a moment, and everybody on that show is just brilliant. And I literally had a blast doing it. I got to do the last season. And so it was amazing.
And everybody was super warm and friendly, or?
So good. So there's been a couple of sets that I've gone on where you just feel like an outsider. You do your job, you go home. But this place, I've like fell in love with everybody. I still keep in touch with a few people. Like, it was just, they made it feel super welcoming. And if that show was still on, I would do it a million times again.
Oh, I love that. I love that because it shows that they're good people and they deserve
Yeah.
that success
Yeah.
and all of that. That show ran for a long time.
They did 11 seasons.
Yeah, that's so unusual, isn't it, these days?
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool. That you when you're able to jump on a show that you already were a fan of, who lets you know, or do you tell your manager or agent, hey, I want an audition? You got to let people know that I'm interested in doing a show like this.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do that. I didn't do that for Shameless, believe it or not, but I did do that again for The Walking Dead. It just didn't pan out. But but no, like if a show comes on that I really enjoy, I will definitely like let my team know, hey, check this out. So if a role ever pops up, you know, hi, I'm here. One production that I did that for, and it was one of the hardest auditions I ever did in my life, but I did get to audition, and I actually did book the job, but then couldn't do it because I lost my voice. I was in love with the theater production Wicked, and like I was like in love. Like I listened to the soundtrack every day. Like I made all my kids sing it constantly. I made them pick characters to be, and we'd act it out. Like it was insane. And so I remember I told my my team, I was like, you know, oh my God, dude, I would die to do Wicked, you know. And they were like, okay, well, yeah, let's see. And at the time, I know like the casting people, they weren't really. They was like, oh, well, Char's like a tabloid person. Like, I don't know. We want to see her or whatever. And so they didn't see me for like a year and a half. And I just was like making my team, no, make them see me. I don't. So my manager at the time like was like, all right, I'm gonna put it all on the line. We get you this audition. They finally like, fine, we'll see her, whatever. I went, did the audition, murdered it. Like just I defecated. It was insane. Like, yeah, did you know? And so they called my team immediately. It was like, oh my God, she's brilliant. We love her. Oh my God. And so they had to go and cast the rest of the players or whatever all over the country. And so then they were coming back to LA in like a month. My dumb ass went to Vegas like a week before they were coming back, and like hung out for like 2 days with no sleep, and then the clubs and the smoke and the da-da-da-da-da-da. Lost my voice. So when they came back to do rehearsals with the whole like cast, like to see if everybody gelled, my voice was gone.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
And they were like, so that's not gonna work singing this every night. So I didn't get to do it.
Oh,
sad face.
That's heartbreaking.
No, I'm so sad.
We were talking about singing. Shar is a great singer, and she was in a group and everything. Like she's one of those that is multi-talented. I was telling Dave I am not, and
yeah, neither am I. Yeah, I'm always amazed of people who can act and can sing and play an instrument and dance, and I can't do any of those things. You can you do it all? Can you play an instrument too?
Yeah, I play the drums and the piano now. Really? But I'm a beast on the drums. What? I think female drummers, that's like one of the sexiest things ever. And so I was like, I was sexy.
I was a She Lee fan. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, gosh. See, I'm jealous, Nicole, of the people who have this kind of talent. We were just talking last week about Jamie Foxx and Justin Timberlake and people that can do it all. They can act, they can do everything, and they're so good at everything they do. I didn't realize you were in the same boat. I'm extremely jealous.
Put me in a boat with Jamie and Justin, honey. I'll ride that boat. Yes, I will.
So Shar, because I know Nicole's story that her parents, got her in at an early age, and she wasn't really ever. No offense, Nicole, you weren't ever a struggling actor. You kind of were born right there on third base. Like you were born to hit a triple, and you were set. Who got you involved in pursuing the entertainment career?
I mean, it happened really young. I think I was like 3 years old. My mom was out at a mall or something, and someone came up to her and was like, "Oh my God, your kid's adorable. You should put her in commercials." And then my mom was like, "Okay," and that just kind of happened. I did like probably about 200 commercials in my early career, and then finally transitioned to TV probably around 9 or 10.
So
here's my mom.
Just for a background, if I'm not mistaken, I know Nicole's a Southern California girl. I'm a Southern California guy. You were back east, though, weren't you?
Well, I was born in Boston, but my mom's family was all here in LA. Like my mom's from LA. And
Okay.
so, but she was in the military. So I was born in Boston. Um, but I've been here since I was 3.
Okay, so I was wondering how you jumped into the commercial game being in Boston, but you were actually here when you got discovered.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. That's interesting. And right away, you loved it, just like Nicole, where you're saying, "Hey, it's not a problem. I'm
I was
out
like,
for it."
this is fun.
Especially doing commercials, right? Like, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think for kids doing commercials, because it's short, it's
Yeah.
usually products that you're familiar with,
Yeah.
and it's fun. It's easier. It's more fun. You're in, you're out, and then
Yep.
especially if it's a toy commercial or something, something product for a
Yeah,
child.
no, it's so much easier. Like I think if kids want to do this, I think that's probably the easiest way to kind of introduce them to it. And for me, yeah, you're right. It's in and out. It's a day or two, of work, and you do it. You play with some stuff, and you go on about your business.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah. I always love
That's pretty cool.
commercials.
That's pretty cool. So I'm always curious to know if you two didn't jump into this game, where the acting game, which can be heartbreaking at times. What would you have done for a living? What would you have decided your career would have been if you weren't an entertainer?
Well, I have 2 masters. One is in psychology, and the other is in forensic science. So I probably would be doing something in a lab.
Wow. Did you know that, Nicole?
I did not know that,
in
and now
forensic
I'm
science?
feeling really inadequate.
Yeah, we all feel bad about ourselves now. What are you doing?
I'm a big nerd, dude. I always have been. So I mean, like that, I'd probably be in a lab somewhere, geeked
Do you ever
out.
regret it? Do you ever think like, oh, I should have done that?
No, and let me tell you why. So when I was doing my labs for to get my degree for forensic science, we had to do some stuff at a morgue. We had to do some stuff with cadavers, and at that moment, I realized I don't like dead people. So maybe this isn't, the move for me.
Wow.
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The smells aren't sexy, and sometimes it's not visually attractive. So I realized at that moment that thank God I'm an actress.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know this is like so terrible to say, but like, think about those people who have sex with dead people.
That's wild.
I don't want to. No, let's not think about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's immediately where my mind goes.
Yeah, it's a crazy fetish. Yeah, you always wonder how
those corpses. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
How do you share a planet with those people? Yeah, I think the same thing.
You're walking among.
I prefer not to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a good look. Not a good look, people.
People who live in like who have like morgues in their basement and stuff like that. Like, how do you sleep? Like, how do you even like?
I don't like dead people, man. Like I just
I think we're all the same. I wouldn't even.
And I like everybody.
Yeah.
For the most part.
If one of my buddies owned a hearse and said, "Hey, when I go to 7-Eleven, just jump in the front seat." Nope.
Nah.
We're not taking.
I'll wait for you. Just bring me back a Snickers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I guess unless you were like moving furniture, I don't know.
No,
I don't even want to do it there because then I don't want that in my house.
Yeah.
I'm with her. 100%. So
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. So I got to ask you about another show you were on, and you had a chance to be on the Bernie Mac show. And I was a huge Bernie Mac fan. And can you talk about that experience?
Bernie Mac?
He was great. Like, I'm still disappointed. I'm still sad he's not alive.
I know. Oh, that hurts, dude. Well, so Bernie and I were actually really, really close. He kind of started his TV adventure on Moesha. And he was Uncle Bernie on the show. And so he kind of became Uncle Bernie to us in real life. And when he got his own show, we were so happy for him, so proud of him. And when I got over there, I remember I got to the set and went straight into the table read. Bernie runs up to me, gives me a giant hug, and he was like, "Welcome to your second home, baby girl." And it was just like, dude, Uncle Bernie, you have your own show now. Like, I'm so proud of you. Like, he was such an amazing guy, the biggest heart ever. And the world is a worse place without him.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm sad today just even thinking about it. And then when I see
Yeah.
him in Ocean's 11 and everything else that I was just a big fan of, and way too soon, just way too soon.
Yeah. Yeah. But he was a trooper too. It also just kind of showed me like the resilience and strength that you have to be in this industry, because he was sick as a dog his last 2 seasons of his show, but he bust
Oh,
his ass and worked. And if you didn't know, you didn't know. You know what I
no, I
mean?
didn't know.
And same thing for like my best friend that passed away, Yvette Wilson from in Moesha, and she played like his counterpart on Moesha. She was sick, like dealing with had to have a kidney transplant her last season of the Parkers. And like, if you didn't know, you didn't know. Like, you have no, like, even with like Chasman Bowman or whatever, like, remember, like, he was sick, he had cancer, busting his ass doing Black Panther, and nobody knew. Like, it just shows how tough, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I agree.
you man, it's some tough cookies in this game, I tell you.
I wonder
I mean,
if it's like a distraction too. If it's like, because I have a friend battling cancer right now, really bad, and I know that sitting at home can also like make your anxiety. I wonder if it's also like to immerse yourself in work. If it's this distraction to not think about it.
I mean, it's possible, but we work crazy hours, so I mean, you can only immerse yourself so much to distract, but then you're like, reality kicks in, and you're like, dude, I'm sick.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just admire so many people in this game, and the strength that you have to have. Not only, I mean, we always knew it was like a mental strength you had to have to be in this thing, but the physical too is just impressive. And Bernie was definitely one of those people that Spartacus, don't make me. Don't make me
get my Uzi.
Right. But yeah, no, Bernie was one of those people where I first noticed it and was like, wow, we are some tough cookies in this game.
I'm glad you shared that story. And as sad as the stories are, I'm glad you shared it, because I think a lot of people from the outside think the life is perfect, right? Things are handed to you.
Everybody always thinks it's sparkles and rainbows, and it's like it's a lot of craziness that comes with this job. You know what I mean? And you have to be mentally strong 110%. Otherwise you can't survive. But like I said, the physical stuff that comes with it, dude, sometimes we work 18, 19-hour days sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, I hear people complain about, oh, I got a part-time gig and I work 4 hours and I'm exhausted. And I'm just like, oh, but they're like, but I think I want to be an actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 18, 19 hours if you don't have it, and that's not including a commute if you have one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was that a wake-up call for both of you? I mean, as someone from the outside that watches, and I've heard those stories that there are 12-hour days, 14-hour days, 19-hour days. In my head, I used to always think, are they just saying that, or is that true? And then obviously, getting to know Nicole, you realize these are true stories. When people say they're working these long days, it is absolutely true. And hey, everybody's in, so you better be in too.
Yeah. I don't know if it was a wake-up call for me, and Nicole, you might agree with this, because we've done it for so long, and it was all we kind of knew. Like, if I was to go do a normal job right now, I'd be like, this is it? I'm done? You know what I mean? Like, there's an actual time that I'm done?
Yeah.
That would be more of a shock to me than this,
Yeah, because there's some stability in that too. Like, you have these hours. I mean, I've been on sets where the union had to be called because we'd watch the sun set, the sun rise.
Yeah.
The sun was going to set again, and we're still on set.
Yeah. We had a couple of days like that when we did Good Burger. I remember I was like, oh my God, literally, like, oh, we're still here. Okay.
How long did it take to...
Oh, go ahead.
No, just asking, how long did it take to film a movie like Good Burger? Like, you always hear, again, from the outside that these are 6-week jobs and then it's over. Are most movies 6 weeks, longer than 6 weeks?
No, I feel like the 6-week thing is something that's happened maybe in the last 10, 15 years or something like that, a 6-week shoot. Because I think with Good Burger, we worked 3 months. And a couple other films that I did, we worked almost 3 months. So I mean, if you can grab a movie that's 6 weeks, good. Ooh, enjoy it. That's a quick in and out. Do it and go on about your business. But sometimes hopefully you like the people because you're there for a minute.
Well, Lifetime and TV movies like that are doing 12-day, 14-day.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, that's the new formula.
That's new. It's sexy. I'm not mad at them.
No, and no, not at all. You just don't get any rehearsal.
Right.
You don't have your shit together.
Know your lines.
Right. Know your dialogue. What I was going to say about it though too is an actor, and when you understand the process, you have to get these shots done. This isn't like this is work you can pick up tomorrow. Like you've got to be out of the location. There's millions of dollars. That. So it's like you are part of the process of wanting to get it done, and like you understand. So there's that factor to it. So it makes it a little bit easier. But
have either one of you don't need to drop names, but have either one of you ever worked with someone that was high maintenance where you just go, man, you're holding the process up?
Yeah.
How frustrating is that for you? Because you want to go on and get home and you want to go to sleep and you have things to do. And I mean, how frustrating is it that you can't fix it? Otherwise you're the problem.
Extremely. Like I remember I was, most of my career, I was a single mom, young mom, and people didn't even know I had kids. But I'd be like, we don't have time to bullshit, guys. Like, I got to get home and get my kids to bed. Like, can we not play? Yeah. So, I mean, I used to get frustrated a lot. Do your damn job. That's why you're
here. Nicole, are you in the same boat?
Yes. It's sort of like you just look at people sometimes and you're like, wow, like that's you. You're that selfish, that person. It's like in real life when somebody's like completely self-centered and that's all they're thinking about. And you're just like, wow, And for me, it's like, well, I've been waiting 10 hours now. We better go into overtime.
Right.
Like if I've been here all day, let's at least go into overtime at this point.
Exactly.
You're pissing me off. But, and then there was something I did. It was an independent thing. It was a cool project. They weren't mad at me. So I don't want to sound like I'm somebody who walks off set all the time because it's another one where I got up and left. But
Nicole, the rebel.
I know. So we were working and I was supposed to do a day on this project, right? So I shot my scene. We did it all. It was all during the day. And then I'm back at like base camp, which was farther. It was a drive from the set. And it's like going into nighttime and it's like getting into the morning hours. And the next day was Halloween. And my daughter's at home and she's expecting me to get her ready for a Halloween parade at school the next morning. And I was like, they only need me for like in the background of the scene for continuity. And I was like, they can shoot around it.
Right.
Like, a little note. And I was like,
yeah.
You need me.
They'll never know. It's fine.
At this point, and I had been there for so long. It's not like I was, and they didn't need me, so I just like snuck off to my car. There was nobody around.
Did they jump on you later when you came back? Did they say anything back? Did they say anything back to you when you showed up the next day?
No, I didn't have to work the next day. No, the producer, director, the guy whose project it was, he called me and he thanked me for my time and he wasn't mad at all and completely understood. And no, he was, because I wouldn't do it if like I was jeopardizing the project. I just would have gone without any sleep and hopefully made it to school before, I just would have done that. But they really didn't need me. So I was like, really waiting around for nothing. So I'm out of here.
Oh my goodness.
Like midnight.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So real quick, because in my house during the holidays, those Hallmark movies are on all the time. Okay. My wife watches them like crazy. It wears me out that she's watching these Hallmark movies. So these are going back to what you just said a second ago. There only takes 12 days to make a Hallmark movie. Like, is it like that's around the time frame?
Yeah. Or 10 days. Maybe they do 10 days. It's a 2-week thing. It's a 2-week gig. Yeah. That's what they've gotten they used to be like 3-4. But they budgeted. They've got the chemistry down. They've got it. They have a formula, and it's what works, and they rock it. Yeah,
that's also that's also part of the reason why they use a lot of the same people in like the Hallmark ones and in the Lifetime, like because they know, let's get in here, let's knock this out and be done.
Yeah.
That is, and my argument back is, when I watch a television show or movie, I want to fall into the movie. It drives me nuts in these Hallmark movies where you never see their breath in the cold. And I know they're filming this in June. I get so pissed off. I can't see their breath. It's not cold outside. Those guys are sweating in those jackets, and I get upset.
Nicole, tell them to fix that in post.
Yeah.
Tell them to fix it in post. The fans they're noticing.
Yeah. I'm on to them.
Or the opposite is true. It's supposed to you're in the cold playing for summer, and there's breath. There's cold. And they're like, "Do you stop that?" You're like, really? You stop shaking your chin. Yeah. I think that one's more painful. That's more painful than than the fake snow and the jackets in the summer. That's easier, but the cold and you're supposed to be in summer gear. I mean, I've been in like Ottawa where the snow is above my head, and they've got me like in a t-shirt and a night shoot. I'm like, and I would take those little hot packs, things, and I would put them everywhere. My bra, my underwear, putting them everywhere inside my clothes.
Yeah, see, I didn't even think about that the opposite way. And Nicole, you've had to deal with it with Baywatch of jumping in the water when it's freezing and everything else.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's interesting. All right.
The things we go through, the torture we put ourselves through.
Yeah. See? You see? So both of you are mothers. Would you recommend this career to your daughters?
Do you know Shar's a grandma, by the way?
No,
I
way.
am. I totally am. I don't believe it either.
No,
and I don't use that term. I'm a Gigi because, damn it.
Oh, I like that.
It's just Gigi. Like a grandma. That's just not. Oh God, I'm a Gigi. But yeah. So no, not really. I my kids wanted to do it when they were younger. I said no.
Really?
I felt like my family got enough spotlight.
Yeah.
That was unwanted, and so no, I personally didn't want my kids in the industry. Now my daughter Cassie, she's a little different. Like with her, I could tell like she could handle it, you know. So I let her do a little bit of stuff every now and again, and now that she's a grown woman now, like if she still kind of dabbles in the industry, but she knows it. Like she lived it, she gets it. She knows it's not all butterflies and rainbows, and so she's tough enough to handle it. But I feel like, you know, as kids, unless you can dedicate your entire life to protecting them through this industry, then no.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you have to give up everything. I mean, before pre-pandemic, when you used to have to take them to auditions, like you would have to drive and go sit. Like this is a whole nother full-time job. Yeah, you're not getting paid for until until they work. Yeah, her daughter Cassie is gorgeous. I watched a show she was on. What was it? It was a reality.
The Naked and Afraid. Was it The Naked and Afraid?
Yeah, that was good. I loved it. She was just walking around naked with this like rocking little body. I was like, oh my God. Everybody else.
She didn't need Fit Club.
Huh? No.
She didn't need Fit Club.
So when she said that, hey mom, this is what I'm going to do. This is the show I'm going to be on. What was your reaction?
I was like, hell yeah, I love that show. Let's do it.
Good for you. Good for you. You know, we were talking about Mother's Day.
Everybody has one, dude. It's not a big deal. Like,
yeah.
People make it weird by like, oh my God, you're naked. Like,
yeah. We were talking about Mother's Day just a little bit a while back with Nicole and I were talking about being a mom and how tough it is and how moms are the best. And moms will put their lives before your own. They're the only group that will do it. And so when you're a mom and you're protective of the decisions your child makes and you want the best things to work out for them, it's what you were saying was first you're in the protection mode of you don't want your daughter to suffer, and at the same time you understand when it's great, it's great. I
mean, being a mom is probably the best job I've ever had in my life. Being a Gigi is pretty cool too, because I can give the kid back sometimes.
Yeah,
she's with me now, so that's not an option today. But you know, but no, I'm a super like Nicole, dude. We're super we're protective mama bears. Like, don't come for our cubs, man. And like most of the difficult things that I've gone through in life, or the choices I had to make or decisions I had to make, was all because I wanted to make the right choices and decisions for my kids. Whatever would protect them, and sometimes that comes with a lot of sacrifice and all these things. I wouldn't take it back. I'd do it a million times over. But I know sometimes I go, well, why didn't you? And it's like, man, because I had to make sure my kids were proud of their mom. So, yeah, I'm going to protect my kids forever, dude, until I'm no longer here, because I don't care how old they get.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of my favorite things about, it's one of my favorite things about Nicole is, she's a great mom. And then, she has the young one who has so much energy and always seems like she's living her best life every day. So when she posts things about her daughter, I just know, well, I know that girl has a great mom. There's a reason why that kid behaves the way she does. So my hat's off to both of you. Really impressed.
Monday morning, my oldest daughter's father called me like on a rant. And he's super dramatic, you guys. He should be on a soap opera, and he's not doing well, and he doesn't want to leave this earth until he knows exactly what the hell is wrong, and why won't she talk to him? And I was like, she's an adult. You really should be having a conversation with her. I'm not going to speak for her. And will you owe it to me? And I was like, oh, I owe you nothing, buddy. I owe you nothing. And then he goes in on me. And he goes in on how it's our fault. And I'm like, she's 25 this weekend. 25.
And Dylan's fucking awesome.
Awesome, doing great. And he thinks that it's us still. And she's the second child that doesn't speak to him. Both of his kids don't speak to him. And
do you see a pattern somewhere? I'm just saying.
Is he what?
A pattern? Is there a pattern?
A
pattern.
Not according to him. According to him, it's the rest of us. And I got to tell you, when he started going in on her, I started shaking so bad, you guys. I was shaking. Like, you can call me every name in the book. You can dredge up all that trauma, because he put me through hell. We went to court for 5 years. I did mortgage refinance properties to pay these lawyers. It was horrible. Horrible. And I'm past it. I'm done. But you go in on her. Oh, I was shaking. I ran out the door. I hung up on him. I ran out the door. I ran for 3 miles. 3 miles. And I was like, well, I guess I could thank him for that part. But,
right.
Don't come for my kids.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Not a game we play.
No.
I'm with you. I don't know why any girl would go after any guy. I'll be honest with you. I say to my wife all the time, I go, look, I'm as good as I get. You and I both know I'm not that good. So I don't know why anybody would date any of us. I'll be honest with you. We're all a mess. We don't deserve the women we get.
You're handy around the house sometimes, aren't you?
No,
you hate ladders?
No, I change a light bulb and I put my arms up in there like I'm Rocky. I'm super excited I could change a light bulb. No, I don't cook and I can't do anything around the house. That's it. I don't know what to tell you. Well, I don't fall in the category of being one of the great ones either. I'm just a nice guy. That's about it.
Hey, sometimes that's all we need, man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You need to
give yourself some credit, Dave, because there's not a lot of nice ones and they're not helpful. So
thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Shar, this has been a blast. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. Thank you. And congratulations to being a grandmother. I had no idea.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
there you go. Well, you don't age, so who would know? Who would ever know? Holy
vampire,
cow.
like I said.
Vampire. And we got to get you on Good Burger to get in the second one back.
Yeah, everybody go. I'm not kidding.
Please.
Hashtag and get on these people and tell them that you want to see Shar and Good Burger, because we need that. I love
Absolutely.
that.
It won't be the same.
No.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let them know.
Well, I adore you guys. Thank you so much for having me. Nicole, 1,000 Steps is calling our name sometimes in the near future.
Oh, yes. I went back there once, actually.
And you didn't call me?
No, I know. Listen, I was lucky I got myself there. It was a should I turn back now moment. the whole way there. Yes, let's do that because I need that in my life. You need that.
Plus, I miss you, and I want to spend some time with my friends. So
I know, same.
That's
Love
awesome.
you. Oh.
That's awesome. Take care.
Bye, Mama. Have a good day.
all right, guys, bye.
Bye-bye. That was really cool. That was
Isn't she
cool.
great? Yeah.
She is
So
great.
I know.
Yeah. When she dropped it, she was a grandmother. I was like, oh, you dropped it. I was surprised because she, as you said, she doesn't age. She looks so great. And then it's funny is I think like Whoopi Goldberg is like a grandmother, like a great great grandmother.
Ah,
And you're like, well, how can that, how can that be? She looks so good. And Whoopi Goldberg, did a great job as far as aging and everything
yeah.
else. I got a Whoopi Goldberg story for you. All right.
Oh,
Just
let's
kind of
hear
an entertainment story. This is one of those where I think the average person who's a fan of entertainment, like I am, that was never in it. So I was a broadcaster covering the Lakers for a number of years. And one day after a game in the hallway, there's a 10-minute like cooling off period before the players come out of the locker room and you can go talk to the players. And Denzel Washington is outside in the hallway. And Denzel Washington starts talking to me. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Denzel Washington. It's like 1994. And he's a huge star. And in my head, I'm a huge fan. And I'm like, I can't believe Denzel's talking to me. My head is just spinning. And I can feel somebody on my shoulder trying to jump into my conversation. So I take a step to the right and I block them off. And then I could feel it again. And I keep blocking the person off, like almost doing a full circle. And finally, a hand goes on top of my shoulder, and it's Whoopi Goldberg. And she says, honey, if I had Denzel's attention, I wouldn't let it go either. And I was so embarrassed that she was just trying to jump in. She's an Academy Award winner. I'm just a goof, gonna ask. I'm gonna ask, yeah. She called me out, and it was embarrassing, but at the same time, it was like, oh my God, there's a major star. Boom, there's a major star that I'm not letting get to Denzel Washington. And from that point on, I got to be honest with you, Denzel, every time he would see me, would talk to me. Him and his family were so nice, and went on for years that we just became friends. Even when when Denzel wasn't there and his wife and his kids were there, they would come up and talk to me. And now his son's become a big time actor. And but it was kind of crazy that I was such a jerk to Whoopi Goldberg. I didn't know it. I didn't realize I was basically boxing her out the whole time.
I love that. And she's like amazing, right? She does amazing things for people.
She does.
She's such a giver. So you missed out on talking to her.
I know. At the time, I was in my early 20s, and so yeah, it's funny. Now, here's one of the things I always think about. I don't know if I've ever said it on the show or said it to you, but there's a line that you spend half of your life trying to figure out the person you're going to be, and once you figure that person out, you live the second half of your life of being that person. So I feel I second half of my life, I try literally to make other people's lives better. I get the most out of that. And so if whether it's helping kids or helping a neighbor or whatever, I try and be the nicest guy I can be to make someone else's life better. And that's what I get the most out of. And I don't know if I was that guy at 23, 24. I think I was just trying to figure out who I was, trying to find my way in the world. And now completely content, of when you wake up in the morning, of who you are and what you want to do with your day.
Well, because you're a successful human. That is good to hear.
I
credit. 23, I mean, like I look at my daughter who's 20, she's going to be 25 this weekend. And I'm like, how did she have it so together? Like, God, I was not that aware in any way, shape, or form. I wasn't that responsible. I wasn't any of those things. Well, I guess that was my turning point because that's when I got pregnant. I got pregnant at 25. But up until then, like I was a mess. And I look at her, she's like so emotionally mature and just everything. She goes to work and she's constantly being promoted and she supports herself and she's got this beautiful apartment. And I'm just like, wow, but up until then, I mean, you're supposed to be selfish, right? That's the only time you can be selfish.
I think you are. I think you kind of need to show a little bit of strength and get to where you want to be. You can't be walked over. You don't want to be a pushover. It's one of my biggest turnoffs of people that are pushovers. You've let continuing bad things happen to them over and over because they allow it. But you mentioned your daughter. I feel the same way about my son Josh, as far as he's. I'm sure you feel the same way. Boy, he just seems so smart and he's funny, and And I'm thinking in my mind, would I be friends with him? If we're the same age, would we be friends? And 100%, I would choose him as a friend. I don't know if he would choose me as a friend, but yeah, I would be saying that's the kind of guy I would want to hang out with because he's a good guy and he has all the qualities that I like. And so, as a parent, it makes me feel good, and you should feel good too that you raised your daughter to be that way, to be motivated and be a self thinker and to really take charge of her life. And your daughter sounds like she's done that. I mean, I think
She
it's a
has.
lot of it goes back to you.
I think a lot has to do with the parenting, but a lot has to do with like their soul too, and who they're
Yeah.
born as, because they are their own people, and they're both so much cooler than I ever was. I didn't teach them that part, so it's just all you can do is love them, right? Like, you just that's all I could do. That's all I knew how to do, and they taught me unconditional love. I had never felt that before, so. Um, that was so new to me, and I just fell in love with them and learned what love was, and I love hanging out with them. They're my best friends, and yeah, we're all kind of besties.
That's cool. That is the best thing I think you could say, is that your kids are your best friends. And
Yeah,
back in the day, I don't know if my parents, I don't think would say that. And I don't know if your parents, if you had the same kind of relationship, but it's changed a lot. It's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah,
It's pretty cool. I'm
yeah.
excited about it. But that was a lot of fun. I'm glad you brought Shar on, and we have a new guest coming on for the next show. And again, it's for me, it's fun to watch you connect with these people on your podcast, and so I think it's pretty cool. So Nicole, it's a great week. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was. I had a lot of fun. For me, it's like my social life. This is how I like get to reconnect with people. It's like I haven't seen
Yeah,
you in forever. Get on here. I need to see that face. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun for me too. So guys, please subscribe and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. And it's always up on the website too, perfectlytwisted.com, and all my social media and Dave's social media. And we will see you next week.